Hello and welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video, and for this one, still on the good old Commodore 64, this is Hyper Circuit, which was released by Chris Butler or rather it was written by Chris Butler and released by Alligata Software in 1985. Now, let's get straight to the point. Seeing Alligata Software never inspires confidence as far as a game that is going to be absolutely memorable. Alligata Software releases tended to be extremely disposable. They never really had a great deal of lastability. This is despite the fact that they had, such prolific, coders as Chris Butler and Tony Crowder, but so many of their games were just absolutely forgettable. I really cannot think of a single Alligata Software game that was had any sort of lastability at all. But on the flip side of that, that doesn't mean that every game they released was shit. Far from it. They released quite a few games that were pretty good, although, as I say, they do suffer from being rather disposable. And this is one such one. Now, in 1985, Chris Butler had quite a bumper year. As well as this, he also had Commodore published in 85, and he also had Z published in 1985. And indeed, once this game starts, you will very quickly spot that the year of publication is by no means the only thing that this game has in common with Z. They also have that. Now, it does rather handily have an option to tell you the instructions, but I don't need them, so let's just get a game underway. So, you are in this ship here, and the idea is that you have to make your way around the circuit and destroying set number of enemies. Oh, fucking hell, that was close. All these green things here. Now, if the green, those green enemies collect a part of the chip, oh, fuck it. They mutate into those blue things. I can't remember the names of any of them, but you saw them on the title page there. And you notice that your shots follow the particular rail that you are on, so you could say it is a rail shooter as much as anything else. Now, you have to destroy a set number of those these things that are wandering around trying to destroy the circuit. It's always 20, and once you have destroyed them, you then go on to the next level. Of course, they are not the only enemies that are travelling around. There are those ships that you see moving around. That's handy. And then there's also the rather fast moving sparks, and then there was that thing I've just taken out. You can see two more of them at the top of the screen there. They will lay mines, so yeah, you do want to try and take those fuckers out. There you notice, oh fuck. In the info display panel, see the squares there, and it says 15. You notice these squares are all appearing in these large, which are what are meant to be chips. These green things that are moving around here, they are going after those. They're like controller parts of the chip within the circuit that you're moving around. Fuck's sake. If they manage to get hold of one, one of the controllers, they mutate into the blue one, and if they manage to get all of the controllers, it's game over. You can see those ships don't stick to the rails, but everything else does. Oh, fuck it. I am doing unbelievably shite here. In fact, yeah, I didn't even get off level 1. Fucking hell. So here we go. So the destructor then are the green things, and they're moving around the circuit to try and take the like controller parts from the chip. If they take one, they then mutate into a charger. Those two are the things. There are 20 of them on each level. In fact, there may even be more, but you need to destroy 20 of them to get past to the next level. The pulsar drops mines. The fighters are the only things that are not limited to following the actual circuit. They can fly around anywhere they like. And then the spike, that thing moves bloody fast. I lost 2 lives to that thing. So yeah, so that's all of your targets. Let's get another game underway. That was one of the worst goes I've ever had at this game. I don't just mean recently, I mean ever. Right. So yeah, so your shots follow the rail as well, so it's not like, you know, if they go forward and, you know, your particular enemy decides to bugger off, it doesn't mean your shot will miss. It could follow him around like that one there did. Alright, let's try and get here. There we go. Now I try and always fail to keep a sort of count of how many of those things I've taken out. So that was fucking close. Oh, you fuck! I think you can probably now see just how similar the game looks to Z. Like I said at the start, I am doing unbelievably shit here. Yeah, it wasn't just a year of release that this had in common with Z. The two graphically look extremely similar. Which is, well, yeah, there's no two ways about it. It is rather a shame, because although Z is a decent game, I would like to have seen something a bit more original. I mean, the idea is certainly original, but yeah, the way it's been programmed, I don't know what came first, this or Z, but it's clear that one used a significant number of resources from the other. So again, I am doing unbelievably shite. And I've got to fucking get to level 2 at least. I don't know how many more of these fucking things I have to take out before I can. I don't like that fucking thing being too close for that reason. So again, fucking dead on level 1. Right, I'm going to have one more go, and let's get the review underway then, while we're trying this again. Graphically, I think it's okay. There is nothing remarkable here, but you know, it's not exactly, you know, an awful looking game. It does look pretty good. The problem is that it just looks so much like Z, and I don't know, say, which came first, but I mean, surely it does look like, you know, Chris Butler has rather cut some very hefty corners by making this game just look so much like his earlier fucking title. I knew I was going to fuck that up. I was doing okay then. Audio, the music is, well, it's not exactly Mahler's 8th Symphony, is it? You know, it's pretty shite, but it does rather suit the game, sort of. So, you know, I'm not going to say it's an absolute load of bollocks. I'm not exactly going to sing its praises, especially now it's done that. The sound effects are your pretty standard fare for the day. That fucking mine, I can eventually take it out. Yeah, there we go. Hit it a few times and bang. And another. Fuck it. That was fucking close. So was that. Well, I am making a bit more progress than before. Oh, you fucker! So anyway, yeah, gameplay. It's well, it is typical alligator fodder. It is somewhat disposable, but I mean, it's not like, you know, every single shoot 'em up you've ever seen. There is a bit of variety here, insofar as you do have to follow the path of the circuit. There's no, you know, you don't have total freedom. So yeah, there is the similarity between this and the fucking rail shooter, and also its ability to make you look like you are utter fucking shit at shoot 'em ups, especially when that happens. And that has rather pissed me off. Right, I'll have one more go. I keep forgetting actually to use the hypercharge. Hypercharge is like a smart bomb, which would come in handy actually. So let's see if I can actually get somewhere if I remember to actually use that. So, right, there's one of the fuckers. Taken out 2. Only another 18 to go. I'm not just going to keep fucking counting now, because otherwise it's going to get on everyone's tits, not least mine. Oh, that was fucking close. Right, there we go. So that's the hypercharge used. When it takes a little while to charge up again, but it does recharge, and then you can use it a second time. I was at the fucking edge of there and couldn't move any further. Well, I got off to an okay start, so let's see how I do from here. Get that fucker. And then this other one. Hypercharge is ready, so fuck it, right, we'll use it again. I don't know how many hypercharges you have, but it looks like you get a reasonable amount. But not so many that you know, you can just keep using that and it's, you know, no problem. Ah, you. So what do I score it? I say I don't think it's a bad game, just not a particularly memorable one. I've played far worse. I've played far worse shooters, let alone, you know, far worse games in general. So I will score it 7 out of 10. it's unlikely to keep you coming back for more, especially if you've either got or played Z. I suspect Z is probably, there we go, finally did level 1. So you get a bonus for each of those controller things that were remaining. You see the circuit layout does change, so yeah. I was hoping I could get there just in time, but nope. Oh, it's because that fucking mine thing is in the way there. There we go. That was fucking close. Pretty sure, yeah, there's 2 more there, 3 more there actually. There we go. Oh, you too fucking slow. Our reactions are just shit these days. I don't think there are too many more of those targets to get now. There was one that was heading in this direction. Oh, you fuck. Is that... Oh, okay. 1 life left. I must have just got an extra life or something. Oh, well, there you go. So that is Hyper Circuit then. It's not a bad little shooter. It's not particularly memorable. So, and like I say, if you've already got or played Z, chances are this isn't really going to grab you. Lastly, because I mean the layout, especially while you're playing, and so many of the graphics are so similar, it's quite clear that one game, whether it's this or Z, is borrowing rather heavily from assets of the other. So I get the impression that it's probably this one was the second one, and this one was rather quick to throw it together because it just borrowed so much from his previous game. But that said, it's not a bad game. It's worth a quick blast, if nothing else. So yeah, 7 out of 10. That is Hyper Circuit. That brings this review to an end, and we will see you at the next one, which will be the 200th Commodore 64 game that I have reviewed. I never thought I would have done as many as 200 of these.